Okay, now turn to page 34, and we are going to review function notation. Now, function notation is just a different way of writing an equation. Okay? One way to write an equation is y equals 3x minus 7. Now, if I said to you, find y when x equals 10, you would say y equals 3 times 10 minus 7, or y equals 30 minus 7, y equals 23. Now, when you look at this answer, 23, y equals 23, is it really obvious what x was? And the answer is no. You have to look back to see what x was. So this is one way of writing the equation. Another way is using function notation. Now, we know that x is independent, y is dependent. Y is dependent upon x. Y is a function of x. So instead of calling y, let's call y a function of x. So this is read a function of x, f of x, equals 3x minus 3. Now, I can say what I said right here just by writing this. This notation actually says find the value of the function when x equals 10. So now, wherever I see an x, I put a 10. So 3 times 10 minus 7, f of 10 equals 30 minus 7, f of 10 equals 23. Now, is it obvious to you what the value of x was when you found that the function, or y, was 23? And the answer is yes, and that's why function notation is useful. So I could actually write this as an ordered pair, because when x is 10, y is 23. And that is the reason we use function notation. So, let's try, I tell you f of x equals 3x minus 7. I want you to find f of 7. Find this in your notes, and you're going to write this in your notes as I demonstrate. So wherever I see an x, I substitute a 7. So f of 7 equals 21 minus 7, or f of 7 equals 14. If I was to write that as an ordered pair, it would be 7, 14. So now I'm going to do f of 2. 3 times 2 minus 7, f of 2 equals 6 minus 7, f of 2 equals negative 1. I could write it as an ordered pair as 2, negative 1. So I want everyone to go ahead and do f of 10, then look at the g of x, do g of 2, g of negative 2, h of x, do h of negative 3, h of 1/2. Stop the video and do this, and start the video again after you're done. Okay, so f of 10 is 3 times 10 minus 7. F of 10 is 30 minus 7, so f of 10 is 23 as an ordered pair, 10, 23. Now, we're going to do g of x equals 2x squared minus 9x. So g of 2. Now, what's important here is there is a big difference between let's say negative 2 squared and negative 2 squared. So I want everyone to think about that difference. See if you know what the difference is. The difference is, this is saying take the number negative 2, multiply it by itself 2 times, you get a positive 4. This is saying take the opposite of 2 squared. Well, 2 squared is 4, so the opposite is negative 4. So without the negative being inside the parentheses, this term is negative. Okay. So g of 2 would be 2 times 2 squared minus 9 times 2. 2 squared is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, so this is 8 minus 18, which is negative 10. This one is 2 times negative 2 squared minus 9 times negative 2. So negative 2 squared is a positive 4, times 2 is 8. And a negative times a negative is positive, so this is 8 plus 18, so this is 26. Now, h of x equals 4x plus 3. We're finding h of negative 3, h of a half. H of negative 3 is 4 times negative 3, which is negative 12, plus 3 equals negative 9. 4 times a half is 2, plus 3 equals 5. Okay, and then we did go over the difference between negative 2 in parentheses squared and the opposite of 2 squared. Okay, now at the bottom of the page they tell you f of x equals 3x plus 1. Find the value of x so that the whole function equals 10. So instead of substituting 10 for x, we're going to substitute 10 for f of x. So basically we're given y and we're supposed to find x. So 9 equals 3x, x equals 3. To check it, if I do f of 3, it's 3 times 3 plus 1, so it would be 310, and that's the right answer. Okay? So sometimes they might ask you to find, they'll give you the value of the whole function, find the value of x that led to that. Okay, so turn the page, and on page 35, do checkpoint 1 and 2, and stop the video, and when you're done, turn the video back on. So number 1 says f of x equals 24, so 24 equals 6x minus 6. I add 6 to both sides, 30 equals 6x, x equals 5. So f of 5 equals 24. So when x is 5, f of x is 24. For number 2, 17 equals 7x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides, x equals 2. So f of 2 equals 17. Okay. Now, we're going to do one word problem. And this, you can all read the word problem on page 35. A wireless communication provider estimates that the number of text messages, m in millions, sent over several years can be modeled by the function m equals 120t plus 95, where t represents the number of years since 2002. So notice on the graph does not have 2002, 2003. It has years since 2002, years since 2003. So this is years since 2002. So remember, we never actually put the years here. We put how long ago it was since then. So here is our. Now, our function is f of t equals 120t plus 95. So if I know t, I'm going to find f of t. Well, the minimum number of text messages would be 0. And when this is 0, this is 95, 215, 235, 455. So you can fill that in. And if I graph it, it looks like this. This is wrong. This is 3. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And the domain in this case is t is greater than or equal to 0. and that makes the range M, the minutes, is greater than or equal to 95. The minimum time is 0. The minimum text messages is 95. Okay? And that's all we're going to do.